I want to go over here and look at this. I got those trees, those fruit trees in from the wildlife group. I want to go in there and look at those. Take a look at the beans and just look and see how our switchgrass is doing, because I'm afraid it's got really dry. I cannot say enough about Eagle soybeans. These beans are knee to waist high. This is the 3rd week in August. I planted them May 20th. We ran into a unique situation this year on planting these beans, and it's something that I've never been able to do. This is part of the old pasture ground of this farm, but we have a layer of sod, the old dead sod that was on top of the ground. And what that did was we put them beans in moisture underneath that sod. That sod was holding the moisture for us. So 1-2 measurable rains this year, we got beans waist high. I'm loving it, and so are the deer. I mean, look at this. They are mowing them down. And this is our 2nd year stand of switchgrass. We planted this last spring. We got a great stand of it. This year, we've got a lot of weeds and stuff coming up in it. A lot of ragweed, but I'm not really worried about it because the deer are nipping the tops out of about every one of them. We'll go ahead and burn this coming spring, clean it up, probably spray some herbicide on it to get the broadleaf component down in it and really let this switchgrass blow up. But this is our major missing factor on this farm was cover, and what better way to provide cover than some good old cave-in rock switchgrass.
Looking at an aerial map or walking through the woods even, we have hardly any mast producing trees.
What we've got measured out so far is I think I can fit about 8 trees right here.
We've got a unique opportunity with the wildlife group, and they concentrate on wildlife specific tree plantings.
They got these white 7-gallon pots on here, so whenever you have them sitting out in the sunlight, that sun doesn't get on like the typical black pot and burn those roots back. So you got the specialized pots, you got the specialized trees, and I wish we could get them in the ground right now, but it's way too hot, way too dry. So I'm just going to take care of these probably until the 1st week of October. I'm just going to leave them at the house, water them, and try to keep them alive until we can get them in the ground.
Right now we're just trying to figure out places to plant these trees, put them in the right location to have a good hunting opportunity, say early October, when those deer are really concentrating on hitting a certain food source before that rut hits.
You have to plant these trees at least 25 feet apart. And what we've done is we've come in here, we've got a little hidey hole back kind of in the woods on our property, and we've got switchgrass and a food plot, we've got switchgrass and a food plot, and we've got bedding area probably within 100 yards of us right here. So I've got a tree picked out right there.
You know, I wouldn't dare plant these trees right now. It is so dry that these trees would just absolutely burn up.
And I would say in the 5 to 8 year range, they're gonna have close to 300 pounds per tree. These trees are just another equation into my long-term management plan out here on the family farm. You know, the more natural elements that you can add to a piece of property, it only increases the overall habitat for your deer and all kinds of game. You can plant these trees one time, and as long as you take care of them, many years down the road, you're gonna have a food source there that your deer will know is gonna be there every year.
So even though we're not planting these trees right now, August is still a great time to be planning out what trees to plant, or you know, getting with the wildlife group, for example, and seeing what the availability is for the trees that are acclimated for your hardiness zone. So let's rewind back 6 years. 6 years ago, we began the renovation process on the family farm. 170 acres, about 90 of it's tillable. 50 acres of pasture land that we've ran cows on for years, and approximately 30 acres of timber. And 6 years ago, we planted our first food plot. Grandpa allowed me and Dad and everybody to take a section that we weren't using and put in a 3-acre food plot. 2007, the year after, EHD come through and basically wiped out the whole deer herd. We found 25 dead deer on 170 acres. 8 of them were bucks from 170 to 120, and just wiped us out. So we've basically sat in limbo ever since, waiting for the deer herd to come back. And so we've taken that opportunity to build the habitat for the deer. 2010, we sold all the cows off the property and turned approximately 25 acres of that pasture land into row crops. Between last year and this year, added about 7 acres more of food plots and close to 18 acres of switchgrass. So the last few years, we've really thrown the nuts and bolts to this farm through the switchgrass, through the food plots. Very little pressure. We haven't hunted it very much because we just weren't seeing the older age class deer that we'd like to see. So now this brings us to present day, third week in August. And one of the unique opportunities that we have this year is it's a corn rotation year on the farm. Our yields right now are looking like zero bushels, basically maybe 20 to 30 bushel to the acre. Horrible crop year. Here's just an example of how bad this is. This is the 1 ear of corn right here that has corn on it. It's pitiful, but it's got corn on it. And now you can go down and count how many plants there are with no ear of corn on them. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 plants in a 10-foot span between these two tiny ears. What can you do? We're looking at leaving a bunch of corn standing. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of map out where we think we need to leave corn so that we can get in and out of stands without deer knowing that we're there, but also giving deer travel routes. And also, you know, the corn's not going to yield very much, but there's still enough there to provide a little bit of cover that equals food during the hunting season, which is what we're looking for, to be able to hold those deer on our property when we want them there so we can go in there and have a successful hunt. So moving forward from this third week in August, hopefully we can start getting some rain. I'm going to go ahead and stick in my food plots next week because it's going to be that last week in August, the first week in September. And you're kind of pushing the envelope. Wait to plant those trees until after the first week of October. Middle to the end of next week, we're going to start harvesting that corn. We're going to go make some decisions this week on exactly how much we're going to leave. And hopefully all this comes together, this plan that we've rewrote 10 times, and we can hopefully harvest at least 1, if not 2, mature deer this year on the family farm.
There's a place I go, tucked back in the pines, where a green field grows, my own little paradise. I'm thankful for this land and the life that it provides. See, the measure of a man is what he leaves behind. Oh, oh, take what you need and pass it on down.
Sometimes you just got to get on old Check. Let him loosen up a little bit.
I am what I am. If you sit me down, I'm gonna talk like this. Kid trails in pine plantations, nothing can be better.
That'd have been good if he hadn't have just bulldozed the camera.